An overnight shooting in Fort Worth left 4 people injured, including an innocent bystander.
Fox 4's Ticia Muzinga live at the Fort Worth Police Department with the latest on this case. Ticia?
Hey, good morning. As Shannon mentioned, police do tell us that one of the victims was an innocent bystander, and the 3 other victims, they were most likely targeted. Now, what we do know is actually it's unclear actually what led up to this shooting, but Fort Worth police say shots were fired late Monday night on Carroll Oaks Lane in East Fort Worth. 1 man has critical injuries and 2 others have serious injuries but are expected to be okay. Now, as for the 4th victim, who happened to be driving by, his car was struck multiple times and he suffered minor injuries from flying debris. Investigators believe several shooters were involved here. At least 1 person was taken into custody for questioning, and witnesses are being interviewed, and investigators are gathering surveillance video in hopes of identifying the shooters. Now, police is urging anyone to contact them as soon as possible so that they can identify the suspects or shooters in this case. Have a good day. I'm Ticia Muzinga.
A child in Houston was shot and killed over the weekend after playing Ding Dong Ditch. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. This comes just weeks after a close call during a similar situation in North Texas. Fox 4's David Centenary live tonight with more.
Some young boys are playing in the neighborhood. They were doing what's referred to as doorbell ditching.
An 11-year-old boy shot and killed while playing Ding Dong Ditch, ringing a doorbell, then running off in a Houston neighborhood this weekend.
I don't feel like it's that serious to shoot somebody from knocking on your door.
Police say the boy was with 2 other kids. A neighbor saw them running away from the home when someone inside the home came out with a handgun and fired down the street. The 11-year-old struck in the back.
In my opinion, it doesn't look like any type of self-defense. It wasn't close to the house, so it'll more likely be a murder charge.
No charges, however, have been filed.
The Houston case, just because there weren't charges at the time doesn't necessarily mean there wouldn't subsequently be charges.
Criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Russell Wilson is not connected to this case. Here's what Wilson says investigators will debate regarding the shooter's actions.
What you're looking at is it objectively reasonable to be in fear of death or serious bodily injury? Now, obviously, if you're at your home, there's a presumption in your favor, but it's not automatic.
On July 28th, a Frisco man, 58-year-old Damon Wolf, allegedly shot at teenagers ding-dong ditching his home following a TikTok challenge, according to police. Wolf charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault. Ding-dong ditching can be classified as a low-level trespassing crime, according to Wilson.
But just because you have that doesn't, again, rise to the level of the use of deadly force. You could certainly tell them to get off your property. You could call the police.
Back in Houston,
keep a close eye on your kids.
Police continue to investigate Saturday's deadly shooting, while neighbors question why was there a shooting.
After you open the door, what made you shoot? Especially after seeing a kid. I don't understand that one.
The Houston suspect was detained and questioned, but at this point in time, no charges have been filed. Steve, Heather, back to you.
All right, David Centenary reporting. Thanks, David.
Texas lawmakers are facing some pushback from some youth camps as legislators craft some new laws in the wake of July's deadly flooding.
Those camps claim they can't afford to make the changes being proposed. Fox 4's Dan Godwin joins us in studio with the latest. Dan.
And Shannon, this situation serves as a reminder that when you're trying to create legislation that seems to have wide support, unexpected problems and conflicts can arise. 3 Kerr County camps are asking Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick for financial help with the new and stricter flood safety requirements contained in 2 bills, according to the Texas Tribune. The camps, Camp Waldemar, Vista Camps, and Camp Stewart, say the devastating July 4th flood plus the financial burden that would be imposed under state regulations pose an impossible challenge. 2 bills, one passed in the House, one passed in the Senate, would ban camps from getting a license to operate if they have housing in a floodplain. However, this letter signed by the 3 camps that was obtained by the Texas Tribune reads in part, collectively our camps would face millions of dollars in mandated rebuilding costs for cabins subjected to the prohibition that did not sustain damage by recent flooding. These additional burdens would come on top of already significant significant flood repairs, operational expenses, and existing loans. Now, last month, Texas lawmakers heard testimony from victims' families, including the parents of children who died at Camp Mystic when the Guadalupe River flooded their cabins. Families back the camp safety bills, saying more precautions could have saved lives. State Representative John McQueenie of Fort Worth told Fox 4 he's adamant that the legislation in question must pass. McQueenie saying the financial concerns cited by those three camps can be addressed and resolved, but he added, quote, "We must do this for these families and for future generations of Texans." The organization Campaign for Camp Safety says it doesn't have any comment on the letter from those three camps, saying the parents' testimony before lawmakers from last month should speak for itself. Dan Godwin on Good Day.
New Texas laws went into effect this week. One brings some new management to the Texas Lottery.
Fox 4's Paige Ellenberger joins us in studio to explain.
Shannon, while the Texas Lottery Commission was abolished after facing controversy, lawmakers handed off responsibility of the Texas Lottery and charitable bingo games to the state's licensing and regulation department. It's an $8 billion operation and the 26th program placed under the TDLR's watch in the past decade. Senate Bill 3070 was signed into law after lawmakers raised concerns about the commission's integrity. Two multi-million-dollar wins in 2023 and 2025 prompted investigations led by Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. During the investigation, lawmakers found couriers were selling a massive number of tickets, sometimes online, almost ensuring a win. Mark Jones, a political analyst out of Rice University, believes dissolving the commission was a good move, but the lottery being managed by the state licensing department isn't sustainable.
I think the TDLR is a good place for the lottery to be temporarily, but in the long term, lawmakers will either have to look towards creating a new lottery commission, or if we do see destination casino resorts approved in Texas in a future session, we could see a larger commission created to regulate the broader gambling industry, casinos, and as well as the lottery.
Yeah, under the new law, there are restrictions on just how many tickets a person can buy, and couriers can no longer sell tickets online. And even with those new restrictions, the lottery's future is not promised. Lawmakers will review the changes made over the next few years and decide in 2029 if the lottery should be eliminated. For Good Day, I'm Paige Ellenberger.
All right, Paige, thanks. Well, Labor Day did not see a Powerball winner, as the jackpot now is reaching $1.3 billion. No one has managed to match all 6 numbers since May 31st. Last night, 10 tickets matched $5 to $1 million to win $1 million. This is the 5th largest Powerball prize in U.S. history. The next drawing is tomorrow night. The cash value of the current Powerball, $589 million. And we've got some people in the newsroom playing. We've all chipped in a little bit of money, and clearly none of us are winners.
There's always the next go round. We'll see.